Got my straps from Freightliner. Bad thing is $700 for the two of them, a little over 700. This one for the front that has the step on it is another $100 for this little piece to be riveted on there that the step goes on. I gotta take this one off, and I gotta reuse this piece here. Have to put some rust treatment on it. It's in kind of a bad way. I'll have to clean it up some, paint it. Well, I got these two rubber things too. They were like, I don't remember. I think they were like close to $30 each. I took a chipping hammer and knocked all the loose stuff off of this that I could, and then I took a needle scaler and worked it over some more. And the right way to do this would take a couple of days longer, would be to seal that with a sealer and then paint it and let it dry. But I can't really afford that kind of time unless I just stay home all weekend and do this over the weekend. This is Wednesday and I've been home since Friday. Wasn't able to work on this. I had something else I had to do over the weekend. I started on this Monday and ordered parts. Now, these aluminum brackets that go over the top of the tank, you know, I broke a bolt off on one of these in the front. Well, the one in the back doesn't use these bolt holes. So I'm just going to leave that broken off in there because I won't be using it in the back, and they're identical. So I'll put this one in the back, and I'm putting it on now. And then we'll put the other one that's sitting there, we'll put that one up in the front because the two bolt holes are clear. So we got one aluminum block cleaned up here, just like that one sitting there in the front. That one kind of stayed there in place with the bolts in it from the inside of the frame. Same thing here, putting this strap on it right here, and then I'm gonna put this on. I can't do the bottom yet because the bolts go in the other direction. They go in from the outside, so I have to get this one started first. Well, the part's just hanging there. That's handy. So I just go ahead and put these washers and nuts on. I got that basically assembled up there. And now these need one nut, one washer. For the bottom ones on the inside, we got our bolts coming through from the inside, nut and washer outside here. We're going to put the nut and washer on the inside here, so I only need two. And then these three left over, there's one thick washer that goes on first. This, once the tank is in place, goes up through this hole here. So then we got the thick washer up there, and it's kind of rounded in here. There's a rounded side on the washer, so it's gonna, sorry if I didn't have the camera there, it's going to go in there like this, because you got one side is concave up here and one side convex down here. Of course, your convex side or your rounded side that's sticking out is going to go in that, and we'll save that. This big nut here with the split on top, in my case, I don't know what your truck is going to do, goes on next. This one shows where it had stopped with the split nut underneath it. You can see those two marks right there. Those go on last on here once this goes up into place. So that's basically, I just got to tighten this stuff down and repeat the process on the front one, and then get the step on there. I'm going to go ahead and paint that step. That's it sitting over there. I'm going to go ahead and paint that, and then if I don't get it on, if I don't have a chance to let it dry, then I'll just put it on wet. It's better than not being painted at all. I'm going to spray this rust treatment on there, Permatex. There used to be another brand called Extend. I don't know what happened to that, but this is out here now, and it's basically the same thing. But you got to get all the heavy rust off, and then you spray it with this, and that's supposed to seal the rust. Whoops, and stop it from rusting more. I'm going to put this on. This has to dry for a day, and then I can paint it with this. So I probably will just not get a full day, but I'll leave this lay out in the sun so it'll dry a little harder, hopefully, because it is warm today. Over here we got everything off. Those little steel clamps, these things here, this one goes on top, bolt goes through it. You put this in that aluminum channel down there, right here, and then you turn it so that these little tabs here are locking on either side inside of it. And then this little washer's in there in between the aluminum. And then this bolts on. Well, I got 3 of these right now that are broken. The bolt's broken off inside the nut. I'm going to get those out and reuse them because they don't have these at the dealer. I ordered them. They said they had them. The ones they showed me are nothing of the kind. So I got to fix those. Here's where they go. Here's the one with the nut on the bottom. This one's twisted. It's bent. I'll try to straighten it out a little bit. Then the one that you twist, it has those little ears on it. That's on top. That's right in there. And the bolt goes right through these holes here from the outside. And that's this one's still on. This one's broken off on top. That's one of them I gotta fix. I'm gonna get in the shop and do this stuff in the vise with a torch and everything. Got all my brackets fixed and painted. I painted the end of this one. This one I just got the rust treatment on it. I'll paint it tomorrow. I'll go ahead and stay home tomorrow too. It's getting late anyway. It's 5 o'clock. It's going to be dark in 2 hours. I don't know if I get the tank on here tonight or not. I might, but I'm going to at least clean this tank off a little bit and switch my fittings and my sending unit and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to get the air hose out here and a broom and kind of clean this dust off of here a little bit before I take these pieces off. And then, yeah, that's my fuel sending switch there. I'm going to take that off and switch it with that one. I'm ready to put these fittings in there. These are the cleaner ones that are off of my old tank. I've got a choice. I can either go with this stuff here, which is, I don't know if I'm in the camera or not. I really cannot see because I'm in direct sunlight. I think I am. I can either go with this pasty Teflon stuff, which is a non-hardening pipe thread sealant, or I can do what I usually do and just stick Teflon tape on. And I think I'm just going to go with the tape because that's what I'm used to. but it definitely did have a kind of a hardened paste-like sealant on there that was old and dry. I guess it could be hard because it was 22 years old, or maybe it's one that's meant to dry after it's been on there a little bit. I don't want any of this string going down in the fuel tank, so make sure that's out here outside of the threads. Anyway, this one goes on the top. At least we got fuel filters on the truck, but there is no sock, is what they call it on a car gas tank. You have a little filter that's on the bottom of the fuel pickup tube. And I was in there with a flashlight and also a little tiny camera that goes in down in places like that. And I could see the pickup tube, and it was just a tube. There's both of these that this stuff is coming out of there. Both of these fittings that I'm putting on here are screwed. They go to a tube, to two different tubes. They go down to the bottom, and then they split off this way and then that way. They don't go very far, but they're just an open end on them. I'm going to go ahead and tighten those down. I forgot that somebody might want to see how to change this sending unit. I forgot, I'm sorry. I just now put the camera on. I was just going to do it because it's so simple. Anyway, goes in like that, it comes out like that. I'm putting a used one in, of course, because it came out of my other tank, but nothing to it. No tricks. Got a rubber gasket on it. I'm going to go on ahead and tighten that down. I do not know the right way to do these straps, but I'm just going to lay them on here. Or just metals folded over and kind of spot welded onto this right here. That's a little catch that the strap it'll just stop right there, keep from falling off, and it looks like it's in a good spot. I'm going to do that over here. Yeah, I'm just letting the channeled side go down. It seems like that's the only way to do that. You see one side of it is kind of channeled a little bit, and the other side's just flat. And if this wasn't going to stay on there for me, and it might not, I could just tape it on there, put a piece of duct tape on it somewhere. Well, the tank is empty now. There's just a little bit of liquid sloshing in there, but very little, not enough to try to get it out. So I'm just going to pick this thing up. It doesn't weigh much. Roll this jack down here in position if I can. Sorry about the jerky tripod, but a good one costs like $500 or $1,000. Anyway, I went to the other side and checked it out over there, and this weld line on this cap here is about 2 inches away from this bracket here. So I'm going to move this over just about that much. And almost a straight line from this body work right here. If we got that in there, no we don't. Almost a straight line coming down from here. It's just slightly inside the center of this, so I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. Maybe that was too much. But I got to put some rubber straps under this too. And here they are. They're kind of wider on one end than they are on the other. I think I am ready to start tightening this up a little bit. Just got to make sure that these straps up here stay in place. And this one's going to hit first because this end's a little bit higher, which I can adjust that on this jack, but not from where I'm at. The adjustment's on the other end. When I put that bolt or that stud up through that hole up there, that stud's on the end of the strap, when I put it up through that hole, first the round side of this flat washer here, it's not that flat, it's kind of rounded. The round side goes down, and then this big nut with the slit on the top goes on first, and then this one goes on top of that. Be a little tight and stiff. There it goes. I'm going to make sure it's in there far enough it don't come out and slap me. Make sure my strap is in where it belongs. Going to be a little snug, but then the tank is a little out of round because it's got a dent in it. So I think I'm going to have to take this, I'm going to take this adjusting nut that goes on first, and it's a little rounder on the top, or actually this is the bottom side. I'm going to put that on without the washer, pull that stud up through there a little bit, and then take it back off and then put the washer on. Got that pretty well tightened down. I'm not going to put that step part on until after the paint dries on it good, because it's only got the rust treatment on it now. I'll put paint on it tomorrow. Anyway, I got to put the wires back on the sending unit. I don't need to do that on video. And then I got to hook up the fuel lines. I don't need to do that on video. And because you saw me take them off on part 1. If you didn't, go back to part 1. It's at the end of the video. You can click on it. Then there's opening up those fuel lines, those valves on top of the transmission. That's on part 1 also. As far as the tank itself goes, I think I'm done with that.